I'm going to tell you the story of Bishop Sycamore, a fake school that somehow scammed their way onto ESPN. And I'll tell you about it right after the bumper. What's good, good people? It's Jeff Lights Jr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff because we upload every single day. Now, Bishop Sycamore is making headlines. They're making news all across the country because they are an alleged fake school that was able to play a football game on ESPN during the first week of high school football, or the opening kickoff for ESPN. Now, they took on a highly talented IMG Academy, which is like the best school in the country for football players, right? Like NFL players go down there and train, and a lot of their guys go on to play high level college football, and a whole lot of them go on to make it to the NFL. So the Bishop Sycamore team got their butts kicked. They got beat 58-0. But here's the interesting thing: the school's not real. It's a fake school with a bunch of guys, not kids, guys who are over the age of 19. So I'm going to read you some articles from some pretty legit sources. The first one comes from USA Today because, like I said, this is trending. This is going on. This is being shown everywhere because it's like, how in the hell did ESPN get tricked into airing a game with the fake school was involved? It says, who is Bishop Sycamore? What we know about the mysterious high school football team that played on ESPN. It says, when Bishop Sycamore took the field in Canton, Ohio on Sunday to face IMG Academy, ESPN announcers thought they'd be calling a game between two elite high school football teams. It didn't take long for it to become clear that one of those teams wasn't what it said it was. Bishop Sycamore, which claims to be based in Columbus, though there's no address listed on the website, and the About Us and staff pages on the site are blank, was overmatched from the beginning when it took on the number 2 team in the country, IMG Academy. So, there's a ton of questions there already, but we're going to keep reading because ESPN basically said, yo, we didn't do this. So it says the game quickly caught national attention as it was the broadcast for ESPN main channel. Social media was aflame with questions about how Bishop Sycamore can be scheduled for the game when it clearly was not fit to be playing against a team of IMG's caliber. So, like during the game, the ESPN guys was like, yo, this is getting out of hand. We're kind of getting scared for the safety of the players because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're just overmatched, it can kind of get dangerous. Little did we know that the men on the other side for Bishop Sycamore were men and not kids like the ones for IMG. Now, this is interesting. This is the part where ESPN says we didn't screw this up, somebody else did. ESPN itself didn't schedule the game, which is part of the Geico ESPN high school football kickoff. Paragon Marketing Group took care of finding matchups and providing them to ESPN as the company's relationship spans nearly 20 years. Quote, and this is a quote put out from ESPN. We regret that this happened and have discussed with Paragon, which secured the matchup and handles the majority of our high school events and scheduling. ESPN said in a statement, they have assured us that they will take the steps to prevent this kind of situation from happening and moving forward. A spokesman for Paragon told USA Today Sports that the transfers at the prep level, especially for online schools, can make confirming rosters difficult. The roster that they presented with a month ago was drastically different than the one from the game. The spokesperson said it's just like a bunch of BS. And so this is also interesting. Bishop Sycamore actually played Friday of that week, and this game that we're talking about that aired on ESPN was on a Sunday. So they lost 19-7 on Friday, and 15 players played in both games. So, like, this place is sick. Now we get into what is Bishop Sycamore. It isn't clear if Bishop Sycamore is a school at all for the 2021-22 school year. The Ohio Department of Education lists no charter school by that name, but last year the department listed Bishop Sycamore as a non-chartered, non-tax supported school, a type of school that, quote, because of truly held religious beliefs chooses not to be chartered by the state of board of education. So it's not a real school. It's simply just not a real school. This is all I'm reading to you, the facts, man. The facts. Now, it gets even more interesting It gets a whole lot more interesting in this other article that we're going to read from Complex Sports. And this is so let's read some more of this though. It says, in addition to the questions about the academic legitimacy of Bishop Sycamore's program, the football aspect doesn't appear much stronger. Since becoming a program in 2020, Bishop Sycamore has yet to win a game and has been outscored 342 to 49. Now, how in the hell does ESPN, Paragon, or whoever not know that this team hasn't won a game, and you place them against one of the best teams in high school football in the country, IMG Academy? That was just stupid. Bishop Sycamore is not a member of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, which requires schools to play at least 2 sports in each of the fall, winter, and spring seasons. OHSAA spokesperson Tim Reed, the schools are allowed to play non-school members, so some of the Ohio schools schedule Bishop Sycamore to get an easy win and to fill out their schedule. Now, Johnson, who is the head coach, hit back against the criticism of his program. He painted the program as a young, growing program that needs help to get off the ground and wants to help underprivileged young men create a better lives for themselves. But after a 90-minute interview, no clear answers emerged from Johnson about how Bishop Sycamore operates, how the school hopes to get its athletes into college, or how the team ended up on ESPN. Johnson openly solicited advice and guidance from reporters and others who asked questions during the conversation. So there were more. This article left you with more questions and answers, right? About who in the hell is Bishop Sycamore? How did they end up on ESPN? How does ESPN not do their homework to make sure that they're playing a school, a premier team in IMG Academy? How do you not make sure the matchup is actually a premier in a game worth watching? A 58-0 blowout on your network in a high school game is not what you want to air. So apparently Bishop Sycamore had told ESPN, told them, they didn't get anything confirmed, but they told ESPN or Paragon or whoever that they had several Division I players on their roster. They had several high-level recruits, but none of these recruits could be found on the ESPN database, who has a recruiting database, and it couldn't be found on 247, Rivals, and nobody else's database. So they just told them, they was like, all right, cool, I bet, we're going to believe you, whatever. But this is where it gets a little more interesting. So that team, that school, whatever, was fake. It is what it is. Now one of their former players is actually coming out and sharing his experience about what's taking place with the school. It says, this is an article from Complex. It says, a former Bishop Sycamore football player exposes the dark secrets of the program. Now, it says, the story of Bishop Sycamore might be one of the craziest sports anecdotes of 2021. An alleged fake high school from Columbus, Ohio set the internet ablaze, blah, blah, blah. Not to mention, the school was previously known as COF Academy. Okay, this is where it gets good. It says the school was previously known as COF Academy before getting shut down in 2018. Aaron Boyd, who claims to be the first ever player recruited by Bishop Sycamore, has been exposing the dark secrets of Bishop Sycamore since he left. Quote, everyone that knows me already knows this, Boyd told Complex. It's just the fact now it's on a greater scale. I have to say something. Indeed, Boyd has plenty to say, from the recruiting lies, the lack of education, to the inhumane living conditions, exposing it all. We talked to him, and so, what years did you play there? He says, I played there from my junior year of high school. I played there to 2018, 2019. I was 15 going on 16. This is him on his Instagram with his COF, which is what it was called at first, COF Academy. He said, how did you find out about them? Well, they came and recruited me at an Adidas All-American camp. But why did you go there? He said, at first they had like brochures. They sent me books on how the school was supposed to look, blueprints and everything. They told us we were going to be on Netflix. They recruited us, telling us we were going to be on a show. They told us we were going to be the IMG, you know, that school that they got blown out by, of the Midwest. They lied to me and my mama. Now, you can't lie to moms now. So he had to move to go there. So why did you go? What was the campus like? Did they even have a building at the time? So these are the interesting questions. There was no building. All right, listen to this. This is the crazy stuff. This is what you want to hear. I first moved out there. We were staying in a hotel in Ohio, and we stayed there for 5 months. They didn't have housing. All the players came to find out we never paid the hotel. The school was writing them bounced checks. The head coach of Bishop Sycamore wasn't the head coach. He was like the athletic director. So he was the dude behind all of it. He was writing bounce checks for everything, for everything. We never paid for anything. By the way, there are currently warrants out for the arrest of the current head coach of the guy he's talking about. There's warrants out for his arrest right now for fraud. So he's not lying when he's saying. And then this is the interview. He says, I saw allegedly there was an arrest warrant for fraud charges. So is this accurate to you? Yeah, it's accurate. I didn't know what the warrants were for, but if it's for writing bounce checks, that's accurate. This man scammed a whole church. Oh my God. We had funding from a church. That's how we were doing everything from the beginning. Oh my God. So think about this. This is a fraudulent school, a fake school that was able to scam their way onto ESPN and play one of the best high school teams in the country. Got beat 58-0. They got their ass handed to them. But wow, how does ESPN not do their homework? How does this happen? And now this is like the biggest story in sports. Might be the biggest story in sports for the entire year. It's definitely going to be the biggest story in sports for the time being and moving forward. But Bishop Sycamore, wow. This is pretty crazy. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Jeff Lights Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. How a fake school scammed its way on ESPN and nobody knew until after. And now former players are coming out and telling you, yeah, the coaches and everybody are all frauds. They write bounce checks. They steal from churches. They finesse the hotel that they had players living in for months, 5 months to be exact. That is so crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Hit the